You are
stuck in this house.
Welcome, your host, Jenny McNulty!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Your House. Hi, I'm Jenny McNulty. This is the InHouse Comedy Chat. More than a talk show, we are energizing your mind, body, and spirit. My guest today, Kerry Morrison, is a filmmaker who's energizing the spirit of a wonderful, beautiful lake here in California. It is an amazing project about the Salton Sea. We're going to find out all about that. And don't forget to stick around after our chat with Kerry. We are going to take a walk on the beach, and I think Cher may really join us this time. Are you coming, Cher? I know we're really excited because she's got a movie coming out tomorrow on Earth Day. We're going to find out all about that during the walk, so make sure you stick around for that. But first, my thoughts. Minnesota, way to go, Minnesota. But you know what? I always had faith in Prince's hometown. Of course, I am referring to the George Floyd case. Again, justice in the moment has been served. So that was a wonderful thing. And you know what? I love the people of Minneapolis. I actually lived there myself for 2 years. Or as I like to say, I lived in Minneapolis long enough to permanently elongate my vowels. Because they really do sound like that. And the worst part is they really don't think they sound like it. Oh, for Christ's sake, we don't sound anything like that Fargo movie. But you do, you really do. And when I first moved there, I came from the Motor City, the home of the car. Well, in polite little Minneapolis, they don't have, or didn't at the time, they do now, lights that hang over the middle of the road. Their stoplights were always on the side on a nice little discreet pole with red, yellow, and green, but not hanging in the middle. Well, I'm from Detroit. I can't tell you how many red lights I blew through in Minneapolis when I first moved there. Now, they may have cussed me out. I'm not really sure. I used to hear things like, "Watch what you're doing, stupid a-hole." I don't know. Is that being cussed out? I'm not really sure. But of course, we all know Minneapolis as the home of Mary Richards, right? The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Remember that wonderful show from the 70s where she was a female news producer at WJM? And how would Mary Tyler Moore have covered the George Floyd case? Well, personally, I think it would have been a two-part episode. And of course, you would have actually had to wait a week between the episodes. None of this dropping the whole thing in one day that you can binge it on the weekend. No siree. You'd have to wait a week for that episode, and if you got home late, too bad, you missed the show. And then I think it would probably end that concluding, exciting second episode with Ted Baxter announcing the verdict in what he had been calling the Floyd George case for the entire episode. And then it would cut to the newsroom where Murray would be saying to Sue Ann, "Sue Ann, great news, they convicted the only man in Minneapolis you haven't slept with yet." To which she would smirkingly reply to him, "Oh, Murray, of course, thank God, I would never sleep with that creep. Oh, my God, I'd rather end up in Shady Pines." And you know, as she walked over to him and grabbed his bald head into her bosom and rubbed it, "You know I'm saving myself for you, Murray." Then, of course, the show would end, the episode would end in Lou Grant's office, with Lou Grant mumbling something about how justice had been served, and Mary saying, "Well, Mr. Grant, yeah, today, but just like I'm the first female producer here at WJM, it's just a start." And he, of course, would grumble back, "Well, Mary, as long as the next producer is as good as you are." And she would say, "Oh, Mr. Grant." Speaking of Mr., we have a Mr. today, you guys. My guests are almost always female, but today we have an absolutely wonderful guy, super handsome. I know you're gonna wanna hear from him. He is a filmmaker. He does eco-media stuff, so his movies and things are about ecology and making the world a better place. What a perfect guest for the day before Earth Day. And he's done a couple of wonderful projects about the Salton Sea. In fact, he goes by went by, at least at one point, the mayor of Salton Sea. Please check out this really cool clip from a video of our guest, Kerry Morrison. Check it out, about the Salton Sea.
Is a place unlike anywhere most people have ever seen. It's a ocean-like lake in the middle of the desert, so you wouldn't necessarily expect it to be here. But when you come down and see it, it's huge. It's 13 by 33 miles. Um, it's beautiful. Different times of day and night. There's every kind of color you can imagine in the sky, and it's absolutely breathtaking. It supports over 425 bird species. That's more than anywhere else in North America, except for maybe the Everglades, but it's immensely important for birds all over the world, from Asia to South America. They stop here, and they need this place.
Kerry Morrison. Hey, Kerry, how are you?
Excellent, excellent. Happy Earth Day Eve. So thank you so much for having me on today.
Oh, my pleasure. We met, as we were just discussing. You came to the Rainbow Night up in Ventura, the comedy show I did up there, which is coming back, yay. So I came across your card from lost in a pile somewhere. It was just serendipity, perfect timing, because your project is so important. So I kind of showcased the beauty and the highlights of the Salton Sea. Tell us a little bit about what's going on there and why we should be involved.
Sure, thank you so much. Well, the Salton Sea is California's largest lake. It's filled and dried a few times over the last 1,000 years. And the last time, about 100 years ago, it was where there was an agricultural accident and it filled up a giant valley for a couple years. People thought it would dry up quickly. It didn't. So a lot of people put farms there, a lot of people moved in and put homes there, and they didn't realize it would need to have a sustainable water source to stay the size that it was. So now we're fast forwarded to these days and age, and we use a lot of water, and much of the water that's been in inland California and inland cities in general are being taken to areas that have the highest populations. The most people need the most water. So water's getting transferred out of farm areas, including the Salton Sea, and the Salton Sea is drying up quickly. So we have a problem that's creating major dust storms, that's wiping out millions of animals, and we know how to fix it. So a lot of the Salton Sea story today is about restoration, about how we fix it, about awareness and education so that people can jump on board with ensuring a beautiful and sustainable future for this place. So that's the Salton Sea.
And it's,
today.
you know, I was watching in the clips, and by the way, these movies are available. You can see them yourselves. Please do check them out. You related a story that a similar thing had happened. Like if this seabed were to dry up and release all of the metals and things that are in the dirt, that something similar happened in Kazakhstan, and the people's life expectancies actually decreased. Tell just quickly again, give that piece of information if you would.
Correct. It's actually a similar story. So the Aral Sea in Kazakhstan was significantly larger than the Salton Sea, and they rerouted its inflows to support different needs, to support agriculture and cities in a different place. So a very, very large inland sea, mostly dried up, about 90–95% dried up, created a lot of dust storms. There had been some agricultural runoff flowing into that sea as well, and it created breathing issues for everyone that lived nearby. And so a lot of the people that lived near the shoreline lost years off their life because they couldn't breathe, and that put forth so many different conditions that we're starting to see in Southern California.
You have a very interesting backdrop behind you. Tell us a little bit about the SOS behind you there.
Sure. So Salton Sea, California's largest lake, the water's receding pretty quickly because a lot of the water has been transferred to the coast. So there are these beaches that we're concerned about. We call them playas, and they have really fine dust that has some cadmium, arsenic, selenium, nitrates, phosphates, things from the farms that when they remain wet, they're pretty stable. They aren't really hurting anything. They're heavy metals. They sink to the bottom. But when they become exposed to the desert wind, it blows right into our lungs and hearts and minds, and it's hurting people. So we did the world's largest SOS, at least at that time a couple years ago, out of off-road vehicles on a beach that shouldn't be there. And we partnered with Randy Brown, a gentleman who you might speak of in a minute, with the Salton Sea Walk, and sent out a huge SOS, a Save Our Sea, to the world.
That is so cool. Yeah, and I want to get to the solution because, you know, I mean, we have to say the things that are wrong before we can talk about all these wonderful solutions. So we will get to the good news in just a second. But let's show the clip that you were talking about another gentleman also working with you guys that you did a film about. So here is a walker that, being as we're going to be walking at the end, check this out.
I'm going to walk around this lake. I'm going to be the first person to walk around this lake and help prevent what could turn into the biggest environmental catastrophe ever if it's allowed to continue to die. My biggest fear was failure and getting stuck in the mud and dying as others have.
He's risking his life, as far as I'm concerned.
For me, the challenge was the mud and the quicksand and crossing through the water and the heat and the distance.
Wow, and he made it all the way around? That is pretty incredible. You know, were you involved in filming that all the way around? Were there ever times when it looked like he might not make it all the way around?
Yeah, it took a year to train for that, and many people from our team helped out in the training missions. And I'm the executive director of the Ecomedia Compass, and we put on a lot of different community events that were made possible by the awareness caused from the Salton Sea Walk. So that was really a great tool for awareness for the Salton Sea. He walked all the way around. It was about 110, 115 miles, over 110 degrees in the middle of summer, and very hot. And at the end, we had a large scientific event where so many people came together and put out video clips and wrote letters and wrote their representatives and learned about the science to restore the sea. And it was a pleasure partnering with Randy Brown and the SOS The Walk crew to make that film and the events behind it.
So tell us, Kerry, what are some of the things we can do? There are solutions. We can fix this. What are they, and how can we get involved to save our sea?
That is a fantastic question. Well, luckily the Salton Sea used to be connected to the ocean, as we can see. Here's the Pacific Ocean. We call it Baja California. This is the Sea of Cortez, or the Gulf of California. This was all interesting angles. This was all connected at one time. And it's 230 feet below sea level. So if we don't want this to dry up and have to pay tens of billions of dollars in healthcare costs and environmental mitigation, what makes most sense from potentially interviewing the most people about the Salton Sea is to add water. There, no matter what, we don't have toxic dust. No matter what, we can desalinate however much we want. In many cases, renewably desalinate. We can grow, there's hundreds of kinds of saltwater crops that we can grow in the region. That would be fantastic. And we'd have a sustainable shoreline for all of the people and animals that live there. So having enough water for future generations is important. And the Salton Sea is just a symptom of not enough water in the first place. So let's ensure water for our future. And there is a
so you mentioned that it's
already halfway dug. And
sorry, go ahead.
The Coyote Canal.
And so that will connect then the sea to the ocean?
That's what it can do. All of this awareness that we've been putting together has gotten the California Natural Resources Agency to ask for engineering plans to add water to the Salton Sea, and that's actually going really well. An independent review panel with UC Santa Cruz is now reviewing those scientific engineering proposals, and we're supporting that effort.
That is really awesome. What can people do if they want to get involved? Whether you live here in California, in Southern California, or anywhere that's just concerned, as you said, it's a symptom here, but it's going to happen everywhere as climate change is starting to reel here. What can people do to get involved in this particular project?
Well, one of the best ways is to speak up, learn about it, come see the place for yourself. We're working on a local environmental restoration project in this town called Desert Shores, and we're putting in a berm which will ensure water level sustainability inside this canal community, and then we'll work on salt and water quality. So we have a lot of different events around this, and a lot of different online and governmental events supporting water-imported long-term solutions. You can reach out at ecomediacompass.org. That's ECOMEDIA. And we also have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out. We'd love to get you involved with the governmental meetings. So speak up and be heard, and be a part of the solutions for this. There's so much potential. It is so beautiful. We know how to fix it, and we need to be louder quickly.
Yeah, you know what? That's the key. It's frustrating when, like you said, we know how to do it. Tell us quickly, I know we're running out of time here. If you're just joining us now, where have you been? We're talking with Kerry Morrison of Eco Media Compass, an amazing environmental filmmaker, an amazing environmental group, trying to save the Salton Sea here in California, as well as, just helpful solutions for everyone. Tell us about the Red Hill Bay wetlands.
Sure. There are a number of different projects that were stalled for quite some time, and some of them are now moving. One that has meant a lot to us is a wetland project in the south end of the sea where those farms kind of connect. You can probably see behind me. The federal agencies and the water company got in a fight for a few years and stopped the project and did absolutely nothing to get water into it for a few years when they did a groundbreaking in 2017. So we've put out petitions and gotten well over 1,000 signatures for that, and brought quite a few people to their hearings and their board meetings, and their departmental heads now understand that this is really important to the public, and they're working on ways to get it built. It's a constant stewardship, and I don't see it as necessarily a one-time off, win or lose. This is something that we as Earth inhabitants need to do to steward and take care of our planet like you would the garden in your backyard. And this is just a really big garden. So it's something that has to be kept up. And it's an honor and a pleasure to do this with a lot of wonderful people that I've joined us over the years.
Yeah, you had a tree planting this previous Sunday, correct? You had a bunch of people getting together to plant trees as well?
Yeah, we did. This year, our Earth Day, we weren't able to have quite as many people because of some of the concerns of the time, but what we did do is had a great tree planting event where people donated trees, and we started greening the site where we're putting in this berm and working on an environmental restoration center. So we're getting the plans for the land drawn up and what we want to see as far as a Salton Sea restoration and community center. We planted trees and we gave away air filters. One of the things that people can do if you live in a dusty environment is to make sure that the air in your home is clean and healthy. So we partnered with volunteers from the Air Pollution Control District and gave those out to the residents, and started a greener future in the West Shores and Desert Shores. So that was this weekend.
That is awesome. And we just had a clip up there that I grabbed from your Facebook page by Robin Granath Tagore. I hope I'm pronouncing that close to right. About one who plants a tree, knowing that they'll never live in its shade, is starting to understand the meaning of life. And I just want to give you a shout out, because when I was looking that quote up, and I looked at it and I thought it said he or she, and I thought, that doesn't sound like a quote. And sure enough, all the other quotes were he. So on behalf of all of my female viewers out there, thank you for adding the or she in your quote on your Facebook page. We appreciate that. That's
important. We're all here.
Indeed we are, and we all need to get together and help. Please do yourselves a favor and check out some of these projects on the ecomediacompass.org page. You can find out a lot of information there. Please do go ahead and follow Kerry. He's always posting really fun pictures and and getting stuff out there and doing good for the world. So thank you so much for helping our planet. And before I let you go, like I ask all of my guests, we're about to go take a walk on the beach. We're not going to go around the lake and get stuck in the mud. That's a little much. We're just going to go take a walk on the beach. But I do that to try to encourage people to not only physically become healthy, but it's so good for your mind. So what do you do, Kerry, when you're feeling down in the dumps and you need to uplift your positivity?
So two things bring me a lot of mental peace and joy. One is being in nature, and two is playing piano. I'm an improv piano artist, and I write piano songs and then forget them and never learn them again. So I record them, and I'm an improv artist, and I have a project called The Music Date, where I titled the song The Date, so that way they stand for the song of the day of the year. So.
Oh, cool. That's very neat. Well, would you mind playing a little piano for us? Is that putting you on the spot?
Sure, why not? I didn't know you were going to ask for this until just a couple minutes ago, but I'll go for a while and just close out whenever you're done. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much, Kerry. Please follow Kerry Morrison at ecomedia.org. Thank you so much, Kerry. That is absolutely beautiful. Please follow my friend Kerry Morrison at ecomedia.org. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Good luck, and stay in touch, my friend. If we can help you here at the InHouse Comedy Chat, let us know. Bye, Kerry.
Bye.
That was amazing. Thank you, Kerry, for being with us. All right, everybody, go get your shoes on. I'm not going to make you walk through the mud. I'm just going to have you walking in your house here. As you know, tomorrow is Earth Day, and one of the things you can do in addition to being careful with your water and saving your water and following groups like ecomediacompass.org is perhaps going a little bit of plant-based, because did you know that cattle use up more land and produce more greenhouse gases than any other animal out there? So here's a cute little cow that's gonna make you go, I don't want to eat meat on Earth Day. Check him out.
What are you doing, you goober? Go to the mama, you're about to get in trouble. Oh.
It wasn't that a cute. See, so maybe you could try that tomorrow on Earth Day. That's something you might be able to do. Just don't eat any beef tomorrow, and you can say you helped save water on the planet. Another thing you could do is to reduce, recycle, and reuse. So everybody do me a favor. It's time for all the good little boys and girls to stand up now and get some activity in and get your minds flowing and thinking of ideas and ways you can help out on Earth Day tomorrow. But first, I want to, it's not just the plant-based thing. It's not just conserving your water. Even with something as simple as taking your coffee mugs, if they let us do that now in COVID, to Starbucks or to wherever you get your coffee. Did you know that Starbucks goes through 8,000 cups a minute? 8,000 cups a minute Starbucks uses. So, hey, we could save a little bit of paper right there, a little bit of trees there. Well, you guys, here is the big announcement for Cher. Cher and her elephant Kavan. They made a documentary about Cher springing Kavan out of Pakistan, and I'm going to show you that video in a minute. But because it might get us kicked offline, we're going to put that at the very end. So in one quick second, you're going to see Cher and Kavan. But first, we have a very, very, very big announcement here at the InHouse Comedy Chat. I am very excited, so super excited to announce that my dear partner in life and on the show here, Sheila Higgins, as you know, she's got a documentary called Stranger at Home that is really starting to come upon its final stages here now. They're getting a lot of interest. They're going to be taking this and touring with us, and it's very, very exciting. And she also just got signed up to start work on another documentary. So we are super excited. So please show Sheila some love and congratulate her on her upcoming jobs. However, that means I'm going to be running the wheels here by myself for a little bit. She'll stop by. She's promised to come by on the really big shows, or maybe every now and again stop by. But I just wanted to please give her some love and show her some love. She has really, I can't thank her enough, Sheila. I can't thank you enough for helping me mold this show into a nice, positive message that is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get you moving. I'm trying to make you feel good. And I want to really thank her for helping me to mold this show. And I'm sure she will be giving her input because, you know, that's what partners do, just in general, right? But anyway, thank you very much. So, as we always begin the show with the Betty Davis clip, I think we'll be ending the show with a fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night for the next few shows. But I got this. It's going to be no problem. All right, are you guys ready? It's share time. Now, she was going to join us on the beach here, but gosh, if Jimmy Kimmel didn't call at the last minute and want to interview her about the movie, so now Cher can't walk with us. But here's a video of Cher's upcoming, a trailer for Cher's upcoming show tomorrow. And if it kicks us offline, I'll see you Friday at 1 o'clock. But here it is. Check it out. And walk faster while it's on.
You have to walk up the long road into the zoo, and I could see him from the distance. He was shackled. He was suffering. Elephants are just like we are. They're so family-oriented and emotional. And so I wanted to free him.
They're incredibly intelligent animals. He was just moving back and forth. This behavior is from severe mental or physical neglect.
They need company, they need love and affection.
Kavan was in a terrible state. It was absolutely shocking.
What does it take to relocate a 5-ton elephant across the entire continent of Asia?
It's a huge challenge.
We put together the right team. We had to get him out.
And when your heart is on the run,
Do you believe in miracles?
I will always be the one to carry you out.
Kavan's journey really shows the power of people.
I never thought this is something that people would love all over the world.
I will
We just didn't stop fighting.
to carry you home.
My goodness, are you as excited as I am? That's going to be a great show. So make sure you tune in for that on the Paramount Network. And again, I want to thank my fantastic guests. Please do check out egomediacompass.org. It's a really cool project, so check that out. I want to thank my guest, Kerry Morrison, for filling us in on his important work. I want to thank Sheila for directing and making me look good in this last episode here. We got this. Don't worry, guys. Be a couple shaky for the next couple. But she's going to sit right next to me on Friday just in case I freak out, because Friday's a really important show, you guys. It's one of my football teammates, which makes it important enough. Hello. But she also is behind an amazing project that is getting prisoners education. So she's got a really cool program. I can't wait to tell you guys about it. So tune in on Friday at 1 p.m. And in the meantime, again, thank Kerry, again, thank Sheila, and of course, thank you for watching and for walking along, because I know you are walking along with me. You guys tell me that you do, and it makes me very happy. But now go. Keep moving, keep going, walk around the house, walk around the block, get that 20 minutes of brisk walking in a day. It will change your life. Cyber See Me Friday at 1 p.m., y'all. Bye. Happy Earth Day.